it, guest or?
Now it's
Secured one?
secured.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I'm still with my home. I don't know why that's such a problem for these things, but. Are we supposed to hook up to the secured one or the guest one?
I made it to this.
It's showing bars. for both of them. Let's try guest. I don't think we're gonna have to.
Oh, there, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
I'm gonna try and get it up on my computer.
Okay. It's already recording. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's perfect. I was just gonna ask you
It's the phone number.
for the, for,
No.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let me look at it real quick.
Oh, there's my share screen.
Using a zero instead of capital O. Mhm.
No, that's what you want. Thank you.
Yep.
No internet. No phone.
Yeah.
Needs to go to the other screen. There we go. There you go. I've got Zoom on here, and so far, I think we've got Nikki there on, and Jason is also here with us.
Right. So you have the agenda up on your own. You don't need mine.
Yes, I have it on the other screen right now, visible here, unless they prefer to have Jason or somebody else that's zooming in to be on the screen.
Would it be hard to do Zoom split screen? And agenda on one and the Zoom screen on the other?
I can try. It's just that I'm sharing this screen right now. And I guess if they don't need to see if somebody at home doesn't need to see the agenda, because sharing the screen will put it in there. Otherwise, I can do that.
The doors, did you want them?
So I got that. And this is what we're seen. There isn't a great way to make them full screen. Actually, I think there is actually. Hold on. Like that. That.
There you go.
There we are. And I can see participants on my side.
That's right, he starts the next one.
The whole business next.
That's right.
Adjourn. What we're doing?
Yep.
Sorry, now we're doing something.
Hey, guys.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I can bring it in. I gotta
There's
bring it
audio over there. I don't know why it's not showing.
No,
up.
I'm forgetting something.
Something else to stick with.
I'll have my computer volume up. So Jason, if you say anything, I'll have my computer volume up so you can be heard.
Change the date on it real quick.
Can't hear you guys if you're saying anything.
No, not right now. How's that? Can you hear that?
Barely.
All right.
Hear me a little louder?
Let me turn the check here on our microphone levels. We did have somebody with an iPhone just jump in, so I'm not for sure if that's
Probably John.
okay. Test.
I don't know how we have
No, I
Jason.
hear it all. When we get to the settings.
How do you send it?
Yeah.
There we are.
Your meeting.
Yeah.
Or the other side later, because he attended, just not person.
Here you go. Thank you for remembering that.
Test, check.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear Scott. Is that Scott? Is that who that is?
Yeah, I'm talking over here.
Is that better?
Yep. Should be good there.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Jason?
I can hear you easy.
All right, good.
For clerk on my screen, though, it says clerk is trying to connect to audio.
Well, that's my laptop,
Oh,
or
gotcha.
not my laptop, my desktop. Oh.
Jason, can zoom in so we can spread out a little more. We're gonna have to speak up so Jason can hear us.
I can hear you now, Paul. I don't know if you guys mess with the microphone or what, but John, you're muted. Says you're muted on there, John.
Now, can you hear me?
Yep, you're unmuted.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself for now, though, till you need me.
Got another person jumping in here.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Nikki,
Yes,
I'm trying to get my Zoom to install on my tablet, and it won't work. So I'm just gonna have to use my phone. I'll run my meeting off my tablet. So I probably won't have
Okay.
video, but I will have the audio. I'll just leave it on. And if anybody has a question, just tell me to unmute.
okay.
All right. Thanks.
Scott, did you ever get this to them?
When I first got here, run away, I was paging through, I was in the middle of ordinances and one black. And I don't know what's going on, but I got in there.
I've got internet, but I seem to get.
I
seem to my email.
Signature.
Does anybody else you want another copy of the, first copy of the packet?
I know that, yeah.
Mark, you got yours pulled up on?
Yeah, I would be on
Scott and I are both having trouble getting connected. Could you print one more copy of that?
Yeah.
And I'll just go through that one.
There's 2 copies up on the thing, on the buffet thing in there.
One, I think,
Oh, it's-
No.
Hey, Paul, I'm previewing the consent agenda here, and on that payment to Two Rivers Bank for the construction loan interest, do we want to designate that that would come out of sales tax?
yeah,
Okay. So do we want to pull that then, or do we just want to add that somehow, or?
I think we could do it either way. We could add that to the consent agenda.
Okay,
Wanted to pull it separate. That might not be a bad idea, just there's no confusion. You want to do it separate? I missed that on the agenda.
Still a couple of financials.
Thank you. All right, I've got 6:30. Let's go ahead and call to order the regular meeting, November 16th, 2020. Time is 6:30 PM. Nikki, can you do a roll call for us? Can you do a roll call, Nikki? Oh. Can you open up her mic or is she open?
I need to get her unmuted.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the process is on that. It's on coming off a phone.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, Travis Kramer,
Here.
Scott Picorni,
Here.
Mark Sunberg,
Here.
Jason Weesey,
Here.
Paul Kraus.
Here. The Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall. Item 4, our consent agenda. I think after looking at it, we should probably consider the interest payment G separate, make sure we call out that that comes out of sales tax.
A motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item G.
I'll second that, Jason.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda excluding item G? There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Scott Picorni,
Aye.
Mark Sunberg,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item G,
I'd like to make a motion to make the payment to Two Rivers Bank for a construction loan interest for the Village Hall in the amount of $61,283.45. Be paid out of the sales tax on Monday, December 7th, 2020.
I'll second that.
Vicky, we have a motion and a second for approval of the payment to Two Rivers Bank for construction loan interest. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott Picorni,
Aye.
Mark Sundberg,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 5, approval of minutes from the October 19th, 2020 regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2020 regular board meeting as presented.
Second.
Vicky, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes from the October 19th board meeting. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Mark Sundberg,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott Picorni,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item 6, unfinished business. Item A, discussion of nuisance properties. We have 120 Elm Street on our list. Can we double check the address, make sure that's correct this time? We've got it marked for weeds, grass, vegetation, overgrowth. We've got a picture, I don't know if everybody's seen that picture, I can hang one around if you're having trouble pulling it up.
No, you talking about the garage at the wall?
No, this is on Elm Street down here.
Oh, yeah.
It's this house
Oh, okay.
with the weeds growing up around the garage and the house.
Or do we need your motion for final warning?
A declaration declaring it a nuisance property.
Is this property in FEMA? The
It
the
is,
application process?
it is in the process, yes. We just did that by resolution on the one last time, right? Was it an ordinance declaring a nuisance? Nikki, do you remember whether that was an ordinance or a resolution last time?
A resolution, sorry, it was in the last packet.
Yeah, it would be in a minute. Yeah, we don't have a resolution number attached with this. We did a resolution last time. So if we were to go with today's date, and that would be resolution A, 11/16/2020. Or do we want to wait until we've got it written up officially?
Give me 1 second, I can bring it in there.
Oh, yeah, this is talking about 410 West Eagle, that was the one where kind of, delivery,
Yeah, they did move a car, they did, do some roof repairs. I think we need to get some pictures and make sure everybody's okay with the repairs. I don't know if we had time for that, I didn't see that. We didn't have time to get pictures yet on the other property from last month, did we?
To get what?
We don't have any pictures on the property that we declared last month yet, do we? And there was some trouble with mail, they didn't get their notice until in the last 7 days, so I think we've been doing enough to make sure everything's cleaned up. Like, it looks like they've been doing a good job.
We'll have to do that next month. That resolution still says the East Elm on it.
Okay. All right, so we'll table that until next month. Item B, continued discussion and possible approval of joining Gateway Development Corporation. I see we've got Michael Rooks on the meeting. Mike, do we have him open?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're on, Mike.
Ha. Well, sorry I can't be there in person. Lovely COVID stuck its head into our house and now I'm quarantined for 14 days. So I apologize for that. I don't know where it was left off last month on the discussion piece of it, but I would strongly suggest that the village of Arlington look at joining Gateway Development. There are many benefits to this, and we can help out a lot more, or we can help out with our members a lot more, and I can carve out more time for them than non investors. And I know we have that one project that we are looking at, and they're still in the works with Project Pintail. There are several other properties that we are looking around in Arlington right now. And then there are several between Kennard and Arlington we're looking at. And besides for that, there are a couple other projects that we could be looking at for Arlington as far as a downtown redevelopment plan with the help of MAPPA. And also I've heard some talks about, I think it's the old greenhouse building downtown there. There might be a couple potential reuse plans that we could apply for and get funding for. So there's quite a few things that we could be looking at doing. I think that Arlington would definitely benefit from Gateway helping them out, increasing their tax base, getting some businesses in and helping some of the local businesses that are there. Currently, we have Blair and Fort Calhoun, who are investors of Gateway. Blair pays a little bit more because I also do their LB 840. But Fort Calhoun, they are a gold level investor at $3,500 a year. And I meet with Deb from Fort Calhoun typically once a month, and the mayor, and we go over projects and talk about things that we could be doing better or what we could be looking at there in Fort Calhoun. So I think I'm envisioning Arlington coming in somewhere around there. And then you would also have a seat on our board as well. So you would attend every other, someone could attend every other month our board meetings that are at noon, currently in Blair at the library. And then you would also get a table at our luncheon and our other events that are going on throughout the year. With that, I guess I can open up to questions, or if anyone has questions on the solar panel field, Dollar General, or Gateway in general, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
So you were expecting us to be at the silver level?
Silver or gold. So
Okay.
silver would be 1,500, or gold would be 3,000. So one of those two.
You said 1,600?
15, 1500.
Did anybody have any questions for Mike?
You got a spot picked out for that Dollar General warehouse, or is it coming to Arlington?
Say that again?
It said, is that Dollar General warehouse, go, or you got a spot for it, or is there room in Arlington for it?
That would be a pretty big building in Arlington right now. That's already been chosen, and that's going to be in over by the YMCA in Blair.
And that's a distribution warehouse, not a store, right?
Correct. Correct. That is a distribution center for the Midwest. It will have about 350 trucks in and out a day out of that facility going to all the Dollar Generals in the local state, within the local states here. And that will be bringing in about 400 jobs. About 100 of those will be transportation jobs, and then 300 will be warehouse. Roughly an $85 million capital investment.
Mike, is the Gateway Development Corporation, are they the ones doing the, what's the analysis that we pay for?
The housing study.
The housing study?
Yep.
The same group?
Yes, yes.
What would we get differently through this membership that we're not getting through that payment for that housing study?
Well, I could be a lot more hands-on and meeting with Nikki or with you guys about more projects and really diving into more of the weeds about downtown redevelopment possibilities, possibly water expansion possibilities. I can just help with those types of projects, and I can help write grants if anything is needed, and I can facilitate. I have a pretty good network with the greater Omaha area right now and nonprofits and MAPA, and I can definitely help bring in, let's say, housing or commercial or industrial needs to Arlington. And when I mean housing, yes, you have put money in for the housing study. That is a great thing. But then at the end of that, keep marketing all of Washington County and Arlington to get developers to come up and either rehabilitate homes or put in new subdivisions.
So yeah.
Yeah. At the silver level, we would still get a seat on the board to attend the bi-monthly meetings.
Yes, you would. Yep.
I think that's about the level we probably squeeze into our sales tax fund and still not notice anything. You have any questions more? Would anyone like to entertain a motion?
I would like to make a motion to, in the investor level at the silver $1,500 mark for the Washington County Gateway Development Corporation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for to join the Gateway Development Corporation at the silver level for $1,500. If there's no further discussion,
I do have one thing to add, Paul. Would we take that out of sales tax, you said?
yeah, Did you want to make that motion coming out of sales tax?
I do want to make that motion to have those funds come out of sales tax.
We have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion.
Scott Pokorny,
Aye.
Mark Sundberg,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye. Item C. Ordinance 662.
Thank you, Mike.
Regarding floodway and
Thank
flood
you.
districts. Can we get John opened up on this? See if John has anything to add.
I'm unmuted.
John, did you see anything in there?
I did not see anything in there that a discrepancy. The only thing Nikki and I talked about was, Paul, you had sent us something on a meeting or a conference. I don't think that that's going to be that's something we want to do this year yet for the membership and maybe Nikki already talked to you about it, Paul, but
Yeah, I don't think that's a
I think needs to be changed. Nope, I'm good.
So I haven't heard anything on this ordinance that needs to be rushed through in a hurry. We can read it 3 separate meetings, I think, don't you, John?
No,
There's no hurry and we can read it on 3 separate meetings?
I don't see why you'd have to hurry it because I don't foresee a flood coming within the next 3 months, so.
Knock on wood. I would say if someone just wants to read it the first reading, if we want to go ahead and go through with it.
Reading the passage of ordinance 662. Which reads, an ordinance of the village of Arlington, Nebraska, creating floodway and floodplain districts, defining the same and setting forth regulations thereof.
We have a second.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading and passage of ordinance 662. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Mark Sundberg,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott Pokorny,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye. Item D, discussion, possible introduction and first reading of ordinance 663 regarding a parking of trailers on public streets. I kind of felt like we might want to discuss the timing some more on the ordinance, so we left that number blank. The comment was made to me that if somebody wants to do something on a weekend, get ready for a camping trip, that they felt like 12 hours was a little bit extreme for a customer or a village resident to park their trailer. They felt like either 1 or 2 days might be.
When I reviewed this ordinance yesterday, when I was doing my homework, only 12 hours is pretty minimum. I'm thinking more 24 to 48.
I think if we go 48, you still allow somebody to have something there for the weekend before they go on a trip or whatever. And I think we can still prevent people from using our street as a parking lot.
And that's our main focus on this ordinance, if people don't have a trailer their permit moved. I should have had a foot after the cops marked it, stuff like that.
So this allow them to park it for 48 hours,
Well, that's the number, we need
Or-
to
or
discuss that.
what are X,
Yeah,
X number of hours,
yeah.
and then they would be required, where does it, require them to move it, or maybe I'm not catching the part here.
I don't know that we put that in there. About moving it, I think it's just 48 hours is not legal, or 12 hours, or whatever.
Does this actually change anything then? If you don't have a requirement, the creeping we're concerned about, so they're rolling it a foot ahead. Has it moved? Or,
I believe it calls out all trailers where we didn't have that called out before.
okay,
And it gives the chance for a contractor to get a license to have the trailer parked on the street.
Which there's no fee for that, right? They're just giving us notice that the trailer's gonna be there for a day or two. So we'll longer restricted period.
I don't think that that's what this says.
with a current building permit, so there would be the fee of the building permit.
I don't think it says that you can park.
The contractor can?
Well, the contractor did, but you're saying it's unlawful for the owner or operator to park such trailer detached from its motor vehicle on the streets, except when such owner or operator is performing a service for an adjacent or abutting property. You're not given any leeway for parking anytime.
We need to get that language cleared up then.
Well, the way that's written,
It doesn't seem right.
you can't park unless you're performing the service.
Detached from its motor vehicle. So that language would make it illegal to leave a trailer detached from its motor vehicle at any time unless you're a contractor with a building permit.
That's what this says.
If we're not happy with the wording, I say we get it right. We come back here next month.
I don't care about the wording. I think the wording's fine. I don't like seeing any trailers parked at any time, but if that's your intent, that's not what this says. You start running into 24 to 48 hours, you're gonna have the same problem that you have now. Your law enforcement's not gonna be enforcing that. I don't care what the thing says, unless you enforce it, it doesn't make any difference. But the way this reads, it reads that you cannot have a trailer unhooked
Unless you're a contractor.
and performing the service
Yeah.
at an adjacent property or you have a placard.
That's kind of the way I see it. Is that what you think too?
I think it's so.
Well, let's see if we can get this wording cleared up. Have something to vote on next month. All right.
Well, are you gonna have a time frame involved with that?
Well, I think we can leave that blank and just discuss that and put it in there, but in my opinion, it should be 24, 48 hours. If, I mean, that's what I've been told my constituents, that they feel like if somebody has a camper and they're getting ready for a trip, that maybe 12 hours isn't sufficient. And I think if we have an ordinance that states any type of trailer and not just, I think we're pretty limited in our current ordinance as to which ones are outlawed after 72 hours.
Well, it's not after 72 hours. You can't park longer than 48 hours in a 72-hour period. So it's after 48 hours. So when you start putting those times in, you're gonna run into the same problem that you have now.
But it says unhooked from a vehicle. So then do we give people leniency if they're hooked up to their vehicle, their camper's hooked up to their vehicle and they're ready to go?
Well, that's what it
Does
says
that
here.
do the same thing that?
If you're hooked up to your camping trailer, then this doesn't apply. But I'm afraid that you're gonna have the same problem, that they're gonna leave their,
Vehicle hooked up.
their utility trailer, they're hooked up. But if you've got a trailer that's hooked up, this doesn't apply, it's only not hooked.
I'm not sure that that makes a difference for me, whether it's hooked up or not. I think maybe we take that wording out. And we take out the 72-hour period, maybe.
Well, if you have one that's hooked up and you're getting ready to go camping, you leave it hooked up and you don't have to worry about it.
But like you said, though, what do we have? What if we have somebody that wants to bring something home every night and store it and leave it hooked up?
That's right.
We don't combat that problem of storage on the street.
That's the way this is.
How would you write it so that we have a time frame? Do we leave out the hooked up to the vehicle then? And we put just a strict time frame on it?
Yeah. But then again, you run into a problem of your law enforcement enforcing that ordinance over a period of time, of different shifts.
That's why I would like to take out the 72-hour period. It's just, if you have a camper, it can't be there for no more than a certain amount of hours. And we take those hours and we set that. We forget about whether it's hooked up, and we forget about the fact that it's in a 72-hour period. That just seems to confuse
Well, I agree with
the
that.
issue.
I think 48 hours is too long for the trailer to sit. If you can't get your trailer packed and ready to go in a 24-hour period, I think that's a reasonable amount of time.
I would lean towards the 24-hour rather than the 48.
So then do we need to change the other wording though?
Agreed. Yes, it's not worded correctly.
So we get rid of the hooked up or not hooked up to the vehicle.
Well, my thoughts are is if it's connected, I don't know. If it's connected, then to me, that really is alleviating that issue of they're getting ready to go for the weekend. But I can also see it being a problem that the person who has their business might store it on the street every night because they move it within every 24 hours, but they park it in the same spot every night when they get home at 5 o'clock, which is essentially what we've been having happen already.
That's why I wonder if we even need the hooked up to the vehicle
Yeah.
wording there, because I don't know that leaving that in there does what we want it to do.
Yeah, I definitely, anything that's unhooked, we do not want in the streets ever. So there's where I would be with Mark in saying there should be no time period. You should never have an unhooked trailer in the street. Unless you are a contractor who has the building permit. which that exception is in there. Because I see that being more of the problem than anything else is the trailers that just sit there and are parked there for multiple hours and multiple days. Than someone who's getting ready for the weekend. Yeah, I say we table it to next month.
Well, make sure you guys email me the changes you'd like to see or get them to Nikki. We'll see what we can get done on that. So we'll table this item D, discussion on parking ordinance. We'll move on to item E, discussion and possible approval of a pond project survey. You have both of those in front of you, Travis?
I have the one. Based on the consultant that we're working with, he made a recommendation to use, the one bid we received from Danny Martinez, based on work experience and the scope of services offered.
Another bid in your packet.
So Travis, you're recommending the one that's the $3,270 or the other one?
The one that Thompson has worked with, and with the services that Martinez is offering, which were a little more extensive. It was a little more expensive, but based on what they were gonna get from it. They thought it was a valuable project.
Yeah.
So
That's the one that's in the separate email, right, Nikki?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm happy to make a motion with some questions.
I would be willing to go with that motion.
But I'll make a motion to approve Danny Martinez's bid for $3,880 for the topographical survey work required for the pond project.
Second that.
Okay, Nikki, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the estimate from Danny Martinez for surveying work. If there is no further discussion,
And that's gonna come out of the parks budget, guys. I can't remember where you guys put that at.
that was part of the monies we budgeted for parks this year.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott Horning,
Aye.
Matt Stenberg,
Aye.
Jason Lacy,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye. Item F, discussion and possible approval of audio-visual equipment in the conference room not to exceed 3,000 as budgeted. Do we need to make a motion on this? I thought we already, we did not make a motion. Okay.
There were questions about how it worked and if we could record the meetings.
And we're still waiting on some information to come back. Basically what's going on there, or are we good?
Watchdog is gonna come tomorrow and take a look at what we have.
Did you get enough information that you're comfortable with?
I did some work on that system that the guys found, and it looks like it's an appropriate setup for a very nice conference room. Microphone speakers up front, camera in the back. There was one mounting kit that wasn't in the estimate. We might need to buy it for another $143. But it looked like I sent to Scott, who's very experienced with this equipment. And Scott, thoughts, comments?
Yeah, I think it'd be a inclusive package. It would give you exactly what you would need with probably some ease and functionality that it wouldn't be something to have to bother with overall. Because I think if it's a press a button, get it going, I think it'd be, from what I could see, from it seemed like it was a package that's built for the one thing you don't want to worry about during a board meeting. You could be able to, it would be set up to a point where you can get it going and not have to worry a whole lot.
So what does this allow us to do?
This will have a mounted camera and microphone.
It is basically would set us up to capture all meetings, video, audio, the whole thing, kind of like we're doing here. But a permanent setup, we walk in the room, we flip on the switch. We'll capture the video or zoom it if that's,
Okay, so we'll record those,
that is an option. We have the choice to.
or could we live stream it to our
Absolutely.
TV channel?
They work with, this package read that it actually worked with all the big hosting type services, the Windows meeting services, Zoom meeting service. It was a good one. From what I compared to, it looked like it was as good as anyone.
We can broadcast this on our channel live.
I don't know about live on the TV channel. I would take some work with American Broadband to figure out how that works, if it was gonna be live. But it does capture it. I mean, Scott, do you have any experience with the?
I don't have any much experience with what our live channel, what our American Broadband channel allows in terms of connection and how do you get to it. But I would assume with this one, it's gonna, if you can get it to a computer, you could probably get it to the area to be on the local broadcast.
I would imagine that Nikki can just make a slide in her slideshow that they show over and over and over again. That has a live link in there, and I imagine we can connect it that way. We could make our own YouTube channel and you could do it live that way, and it would also store on YouTube for us. There's a variety of ways we could do it.
Yeah, the system had self sizing, they called it, where the camera comes on and figures out the room size, so the width is always set up the right way. And that's what it, when you shut it down, the camera turns, it shuts off, it disables. I think it's the right system.
I'll make a motion to approve the audio video equipment for the conference room A in the amount not to exceed $3,000 is budgeted.
I'll second that.
Okay, Nikki, we have a motion and a second for the purchase of audio visual equipment for the conference room A. There is no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
And I also had a request for you guys to speak up a little bit. Before I do this. Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Mark Stenberg,
Aye.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item G, discussion and possible approval of reinstating no late fees or shutoffs for water sewer billing. Did we have anybody that got anything from other towns that went back to this, or? Okay. We just feel like we've gotten some requests from the public that there are people that are out of work, so.
Nikki, do you know the number of people that this has been affecting?
I'm.
Like, well, because I imagine, are you counting the late bill people, or is there actual people that have said, hey, I'm unemployed, or?
There are probably 6 people who have come to me since the middle of last week and said, I have no income because of COVID. And I'm doing what I can. So that tells me if that many people are telling me that, there are probably a lot more who aren't saying anything. I can't tell you exactly how many are late this month because I just got done entering the bills right before I left today. So I'll know that first thing in the morning. It seems like a pretty high number that are struggling right now.
You want to run for time? This is local form.
Can we just say till further notice?
We do that once already.
We did until, what was our end time on it? Did we set a date?
No, but I think it was either August or September where you guys passed to go back to having the late fees and shut-offs. A lot of towns have not gone back to it at all and then just kept it going.
What's your recommendation?
I would say until further notice, we don't do shut-offs and late fees. Because we have no idea right now how long this is going to be.
I like the further notice because we can reevaluate it every month that way.
Good point.
I would recommend that we keep a running total of the amount of money that we potentially, if people aren't paying their bill, we got to keep track of that, obviously. And maybe just, and have that as a reference point every month. Just so we're keeping a running total of that and have an idea of, how much we are potentially losing. Because I'm curious if we can apply for a CARES Act for that. For reimbursement, I don't know for sure though. That'd be something we'd have to call alarm about. I know they talk about the CARES Act and applying for things for that all the time.
That's not something that we can get CARES money for.
Okay.
For the late fees or for no payment on the water bill?
Either.
Well, then never mind.
But it's something that doesn't hurt to keep track of, and I know she's keeping track
Right.
of that.
Right. Well, I know the accounting software does that, but I was just talking about being able to have that running total quick and easy. So that way you could maybe, I thought I had heard that you could use CARES Act for that. So never mind. She would know. So we need a motion that there says that we would discontinue late fees or shut off fees at this time until further notice. Is that what the wording is that we'd want to use?
I think that would work. That sounds good to me.
Is that a motion?
That is my motion then.
I'll second.
Hey, Nikki, we have a motion and a second to extend the no late fees or shut-offs for water sewer billing until further notice. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Mark Sumber,
Aye.
Jason Lucy,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott Peponi,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye. New business, item 7A, resolution 1116/2020A for Village of Arlington to execute documents required to receive USDA financial assistance. And that would be the one stating street superintendent on the, is that the one, Nikki?
that's the certificate, that's the, yep. And certification of city street superintendent.
So the entire. I've got one and page 2 of 3.
One of these three are the ones you printed out for us.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
No, that was for the
that's
fourth.
for the thing. I don't think 3 was anything.
Just make sure to put the resolution number in there. 116/2020A. 11116. But unfortunately, the resolution needs to be read in its entirety.
Page 3 is just a page that says to attach.
Okay. Yes. That would be the resolution on page 1. Down to be a result.
One more time before I read this, this is give me a review of what we're doing here.
So you would do-
Execute documents required to receive USDA rural development financial assistance.
right. So you would make a motion for the passage of resolution 1116/2020A. And you would read from the word resolution down to be it resolved.
Just so we're all clear, this, we do this once a year type of deal. or-
Well, they changed this on us. They used to do it at the end of the year, and I don't remember reading this resolution, but they have changed it on us now. We're doing it this time of the year.
Alrighty. Well, I'd like to,
Passage of resolutions on the bottom of that first page in the yellow.
all right, I would like to move to introduce resolution 11162020A.
Go ahead.
And move towards passage there, so. All right, resolution signing of the year and certification of city's street superintendent for 2020. The resolution number again, 11162020A. Whereas State of Nebraska statute sections 39-2302 and 39-2511 through 39-2515 details the requirements that must be met in order for a municipality to qualify for an annual incentive payment. And whereas the state of Nebraska Department of Transportation requires that each incorporated municipality must annually certify by December 31st of each year the appointment of the city street superintendent to the Nebraska Department of Transportation using the year-end certification of the city street superintendent. And whereas the NDOT requires that such certification shall also include a copy of the documentation of the city street superintendent's appointment, examples, meeting minutes, showing of appointments of the city street superintendent by their name as it appears on their license, if applicable, their license number and class of license, the type of appointment, example, employed, contract, consultant, or interlocal agreement with another unincorporated municipality or county, and the beginning date of the appointment. And whereas the NDOT also requires that such year-end certification of the city street superintendent shall be signed by the mayor or village board chairperson and shall include a copy of resolution of the governing body authorizing that's a tough word, authorizing the signing of the year-end certification of the city street superintendent by the mayor or village chairperson. Be resolved that the village chairperson of the village of Arlington is hereby authorized to sign the attached year-end certification of the city street superintendent.
And just to be clear, could you make in your motion, could you make that Steve Parr from JEO? We should probably call that out. Just so that's clear. That would be our continuing our current. If you could just say Steve Parr from JEO.
Yes, Steve Parr from JEO would be our go-to with this,
Our street engineer.
our street engineer that we rely on.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second for the passage of resolution 11162020A. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Jason Weesey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Mark Sandberg,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye. Item B under new business, discussion of possible approval of dropping the tree portion of Beehive. I don't know if John wants to chime in on this, but I think John's all for dropping that.
No. Hello?
Yep.
I don't see us needing that just because Beehive is for the purpose of locating things that we can't actually see, like sewer, water, the things of that nature. I think it's kind of a waste of money to put trees on that if they're charging us what they say they are for it. That would be my opinion.
$2,000. That will cover our new membership.
I'm guessing the reason it's on there is so you can keep track of species or whatever you'd want to call it. And so that way, if there's some kind of disease or something that goes through, you'd be able to quickly identify which trees are which, I suppose.
I'm
Mark,
assuming
Mark?
that's why that's on there.
Yeah.
But we could probably identify them just by looking at them as well. I mean, that's up to you guys.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's, Mark, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's permanent. We need it.
What was that?
The main reason we're dealing with beehive, like you said, sewer, water, street.
Yeah, let's try to get those going. Let's try and use those. I'd say we just need a motion.
Jason, I'll make a motion to drop the tree portion of Beehive.
I'll second that.
There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Mike Summer.
Aye.
Jason Lacy.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Item C, discussion about possibly having a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. I see we've got Kelsey Wolf in the Zoom meeting. Kelsey, can we open up your mic if you have anything for us?
Yeah, hi guys. So the idea behind this was to use a space in the downtown area to put up a tree and just bring some festivity to Arlington. I know that there will need to probably be equal representation of some kind. So we would consider that. We're not asking for any funds of any kind, just permission to put a tree in the space between the post office and the village hall area, if we can get that donated.
And you guys have a tree that you're gonna have donated, and do you have an idea of how tall this tree is?
That's a good question. No, I don't know how tall the tree is. We have some feelers out to people who had talked about being willing to donate a tree if there was I mean, I don't envision us having a semi-trailer bringing in a tree, although I would wish I could make that happen. But if there's a limit on how tall you want it, by all means, you can set that on us. But we were just looking for a way to do something this holiday to bring some community aspect.
I think it's a good idea.
Question.
Yeah, it would be right here north of, south of the building in between these two buildings.
Is that going to have any effect on the siding?
We have some perfect grass going on there right now.
John, do you have any concerns with putting a tree in that sodded area?
Yeah, my question would be, how do you plan on keeping this thing upright?
When I asked that question to the committee of people I'm working with on it, they said, we'll figure that out once we have approval to do it. So I don't know, but there is someone who does that kind of work. I could look up their name in my messages, who is willing to do the lighting and that kind of stuff pro bono for us. So I don't have the details on that for you, and I apologize. And I'm open to other areas too. If there's another area that we could put it where it wouldn't interfere with the sod. That was one area that had been brought up.
That is a kind of a freshly sodded area. I know it's rooted already, but there's sprinklers that run through there. If they would be putting any sort of supports like stakes in the ground systems and everything, hitting them lines, driving stakes in.
Right.
Other than that, I don't have a huge problem with it. But I would hate to have to pick it up off the ground after a while too.
Right.
That would be my only other concern. But no, I don't have a problem with it there. I would rather see it in a grassy area rather than on the street or something. I don't want to push snow around it.
Okay.
Yep.
Could we get any approval pending Juan's authorization on where it goes, whether it's south of the building or it's in the park even? Would you be okay with that, Kelsey?
I had a little bit of trouble hearing you, but I heard something about in the park.
What if we made the approval pending John's okay on the final placement?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you guys could work with John if you can find something that he's happy with putting in the sod. And John
Yeah.
makes if not, maybe we can look for someplace in the park that we could do for that purpose.
Absolutely. John, are you okay with if I contact you about that once I have it?
Yeah, I would be kind of questioning the size too. I don't want anything that's going to be, too enormously huge because the wind does blow through. I just don't want to create problems for us in the long run.
Yep.
It's nice to have things go on, but it seems like sometimes people like it when it's up, but when it falls down, there's nobody there to pick it up. So
Okay.
that would be my only concern. So yeah, let me know the size and everything.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. And then we can kind of determine where we're going to put it.
Yep.
And with that, Paul and the board, it says a Christmas lighting ceremony. We may want to watch out with what's going on with our DHMs and all them.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's probably the right term for what it should be called, but the idea was to light the tree, possibly have, depending on what we can come up with for decorating the tree, having community members provide like a decoration per household, or whoever wants to contribute can contribute in that way, but not having like one huge everyone meet at this time, but more of like a funnel of an open time to come down. There was also talk of having a Santa Claus present, and then a basket for children to drop letters in as they come down to that area. So not having a seat on Santa's lap this year, but at least having the presents down there.
And you have
Okay.
people on your committee?
Sorry, say that again.
You have people with the department on your committee?
Do I have people with what on the committee?
Do you have any representatives on your group of people that are with the fire department? Because I know they do something with Santa Claus and.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there is anyone, but that's a really good point. I'm newer to the community, so I don't want to step on any toes for sure.
Yeah, I would check with them. Maybe you could even work something together with them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I will reach out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that idea.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Put it in the park where you have. I didn't see that going up. I don't think you got replacing the dog well enough to.
Mark, I can't hear what you're saying.
I'd say I'd be very cautious about putting that tree out here on this year's side.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was gonna throw out maybe, like down by the highway, where they put that new sign by the fairground. I wonder if like in that parking lot area there along the highway and potentially run the power from the concession stand. I don't know if that would be an option. You could have that being a nice big open area there. People could drive up, they could drop off their letter. I heard her saying something about a letter drop for kids for Santa Claus or whatever. I don't know, that's just an open area. I mean, they'd have to talk to the fair board. That might be a place though, I don't know. And you wouldn't have to worry about it falling down and hitting anything in that area either. But I do like the redevelopment idea downtown too, so just throwing out a place.
Well, do we want to make a motion and let John make the final decision on placement, if they can find something at the fairground or the park? We can give John our direction.
I would like to make a motion to possibly have a Christmas tree lighting ceremony with the tree in the city property with John Rosenthal's recommendations and approval.
Do we have a second?
Jason, I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for approval of a Christmas tree and potential lighting ceremony. Approval by John Rosenthal on the placement. If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Aye.
Mark Sudler.
Aye.
Jason Weesey.
Yes.
Travis Kramer. Paul Trout.
Aye. Kelsey, thank you for your time and effort. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kelsey.
Thank you, guys.
All right, item D, Washington County permit report. A lot of houses going up on that northwest corner of town right now. Getting finished up. Anybody have anything on the permit report? If not, let's move on to item E, Washington County Sheriff's Report. I didn't hear anything from Sheriff Robinson today about coming late. Did you hear anything from him? Anybody have anything for the Sheriff's Department?
Nikki, have you guys been able to have a meeting with him or not?
We have not met since our last board meeting, I don't think, have we, John?
I'm here now. No, we have not. We didn't think it was necessary at this time to have a meeting with them. We really didn't have anything for them.
Sounds good. I was just seeing if they were following up on it. And then Scott, you and I, we haven't really heard anything to really warrant a meeting either, so we haven't really had one, so. The biggest thing has been this parking issue. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Yeah, maybe once we get that resolved and he sends out a pretty good detailed report, so we kind of all know what's going on. So.
Agreed.
They've been busy, I know, the fire department as well. Be sure and thank your local volunteer fire department members. I know they've been on a lot of calls in the last 2 weeks, so appreciate those guys go out. I don't have to. We don't have anything for the sheriff's report. Let's move on, the library report. Do you have any insights on this, Travis?
They were closed for a couple of Saturdays due to the part-time help they have catching COVID, and so they shut things down. There was some discussion on the requirement for masks, and that they were putting a recommendation on the door just that racked masks were recommended for anybody using the library. I know they have an extensive cleaning program, so they're doing a good job with that. Some discussion about rekeying the library area. We had not gotten the key back. We got it? Never mind. That's about it.
We did vote to consolidate the janitor position. I wanted to make sure everybody was okay. We didn't. Payroll yet, but In my opinion, we should be paying her the extra amount we were paying the library custodian.
Travis.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything more on the counters when they're planning on putting them in?
There's just one comment in their minutes. Circulation desk, all three contractors have been contacted. I don't know why all three. Board member Anzalone will get a rough timeline from them. Oh,
Okay.
three contractors working on this thing. That's why.
Yep.
So, timelines.
Okay. I else on that.
What, Jason, what was that?
I did read that. I didn't know if you had heard anything else on that. That was John.
Oh, okay, sorry, John.
Nope, you're good. All right. That's all I needed, Trav. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, streets, we really haven't had anything going on there. I know we've got notice that the contractor is going to be starting the repair at Fifth and Ellsworth, where we had some drainage issues.
Yeah, other than that, that was the only thing that I was gonna add, Paul.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of before spring. Parks, you guys kind of elaborated a little bit on the pond. Not really much else going on there, is there?
No, Carrie's doing a lot of work on fundraising and promoting the dog park. I'm helping with some CAD work for her to illustrate what it might look like. And she's getting some estimates for grant writing and things like that, but making some progress, probably have the final plans for the proposal done this week.
Cemetery, or not really anything new going on out there.
Talked about the new construction last month.
Water and sewer, Travis and I talked briefly this week. The water tower is full again. The paint finally cured. They had a little longer cure time because of the colder temperatures. There was a fire in town this week, and there was some discussion on whether they were prepared for that. And I talked to Dan Douglas, and he said they had a tanker full. They had all the water they needed. So there wasn't any issues with that. We got kind of lucky there. I don't know how many fires in a row we'd have to have for those guys to run out of water, but hopefully we won't have to worry about that now. The pressure reducing valve, I think they're going to be working on that this week. John, have you heard anything on the timeline for that?
I talked to James, and Nikki, you can kind of chime in if you need to. Didn't he say that they were waiting possibly the end of this week? Is James in the meeting?
No.
He's not. That is what he said. They were supposed to come last week and some.
Yeah.
They'll be here this week.
Yep. I thought he said last week, or so hopefully this week they show up to fix that.
Hey, Paul, can I jump back up to parks really quick?
You sure can.
Have we heard anything more? I think John's report for his street and parks said that we haven't found anyone yet. John, have we found anybody yet for the pool project?
We have not. The only person that has said was the first contractor, the one that was a little bit more expensive. I have contacted one or a couple I contacted Thompson's and Weese's both. They have not got back to me. I'm sure they're probably busy right now, but
That's fine. I
I'll
was
just
just
keep.
curious.
No,
I had
I'll
someone
just keep
ask
pump-
in the community about it, and I just told them that we were still trying to find a contractor. So thank you.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
All right, I think that was it for water and sewer. Police, we don't really have anything going on there. Anything you guys? Okay,
At this time, we got good reports coming in our emails all the time. And
yeah.
It's a pretty good idea.
Item H, James was not able to make it from People Services. If you've got any questions on their reports, let me know. I can try and get a hold of him next week.
Paul, one question I have is the manhole east of King Drive. I'm just curious how bad that is. It is concerning that he had somebody look at it, and the infiltration's too far back in the sewer main, that he said he wouldn't be able to fix it. I'm just curious how bad of a project that's turning into. Somebody's saying they can't do it.
Travis,
Yeah,
this is John. I can kind of bring you up to date on that. It is probably, I would it's probably like 2 feet back from the manhole itself. So it's in the actual line. We don't know what it is for sure. James tried jumping down in there and taking some video of it, but the smell was a little too overbearing for him. So we had to get out of there in a hurry. We're going to kind of look into that a little bit more this next month, hopefully.
okay.
We'll try and catch it on a day when there's not as much flow. The day he went down there, it was pretty overwhelming. So he got out of there in a hurry, but we'll look at it and see, Travis. I think what's going to probably end up happening is there is products I know that they can seal that off from the inside,
Okay.
or we may have to dig it up and seal it off from the outside. I don't know if it's a spring or what it is there that's causing that infiltration, but it's like a spigot running into it.
Wow.
But we're gonna look into it a little bit more.
Thanks, John.
You bet.
All right, hopefully that's something we can get fixed and take care of a bunch of infiltration. That would be nice. Okay, I'll keep in touch with People Services on that. John, you want to go ahead and start with your report?
On the streets end of it, we did get our new street sweeper. I don't know if anybody's seen it around. I know Scott went out with me Saturday morning. He kind of wanted to experience the street sweeper, and it works pretty good. Would you agree, Scott? I think we got a good purchase on it.
Yeah, John allowed me to run it and operate it for a couple of loads. It's a little tricky to catch a straight line and follow the curve, but it does a good job. It brought up the leaves real good and cleaned it up, so it'll be better this spring. There's a way to turn the water on, kind of knock the dust down, really clean up. So I think it'll be a good investment for the 29 grand you spent on it. It's new
Yep.
brush and stuff, and, yeah,
We're not going to turn the water on this fall, obviously, because it has to stay winterized. It is winterized at this point. So we're not going to put water to it just to get leaves up. I'll be out doing leaves this week. Them done this week into next week before the snow flies, and not put a bunch of leaves in people's yards like has been in the past. We did get the snow fence up along Bell Street, which is always good to get up before the ground freezes solid. We had a few trees down the other day from the ice storm. It wasn't too bad though. I was kind of pleasantly surprised when I woke up that it wasn't that bad. Travis, I know you'd asked last month about getting them posts along the walking path painted. We did get them painted.
Cool, thank you.
Yep. We do have to pump. We are pumping the water out of the pool just to avoid any problems with that main drain. If water gets down into it and freezing, I'll probably have to do that again this next week. That's why I wanted to get that fixed before winter, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it, I guess. I don't know what else to do with that. K&K Fence did start on that fencing project down at the old sewer plant. I don't know if you've been by there. They tore all the old fence out. He's hoping to get the posts set at least before winter time, both there and down at Bell Creek T-ball field. He doesn't know that he'll get the fence stretched yet this winter, but he will have it done before that deadline for FEMA. And I contacted them, 2 contractors, but haven't heard back from either one. I'll try and get a hold of them again this week yet. So that's where we are on that. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, John. Anybody have anything else? If not, we'll move on to item J, clerk's report. You have anything for us, Nikki?
There's under John's that IA.
Oh,
two grants.
I'm sorry. Item A, we need to we need an approval to submit the application for the Celebrate Trees grant through the Papio and R&D.
I'll make a motion for the approval to submit the application for the Celebrate Trees Grant through Papio Missouri River Natural Resource District.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Nikki? If there's no further discussion, let's vote on that motion.
Mark Sandberg.
Aye.
Jason Easy.
Yes.
Travis Kramer.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Now, let's move on to item J.
So aside from all of the usual things that I do, I finished the training and all of the troubleshooting to get our online bill payment system up and running. We still need to, it's supposed to put a place on there where people can click and it'll show them what the account number is so that they know it's just those first 3 or 4 numbers on their bill is what pulls up their account. We ran into a couple snags with that just because of the way that the account numbering has been happening, so I've had to work on that. And we have our point of sale system up and running right now. It I need to work with Travis on this, whether we want to do it now or wait until we have our new website, but I would like people will be able to pay for things like their ATV, UTV permits online, permit, anything that they buy, they can buy pool passes. Any of that stuff they'll be able to buy at the window or online with a credit card. I got the email billing process up and running, so if people want paperless billing, all they have to do is formally give me their email address and they don't have to get a paper bill anymore. I just got an email tonight when I got here that they are done codifying our ordinances. So those should be organized properly and ready to go online. So now the next step is the training to start entering everything that wasn't in those files that we sent. So anything that's been passed in the last 2 years, I think I'll be able to start uploading those things. We're pretty booked up at the auditorium for basketball practices. How much longer, I don't know, but right now they're booked up.
Still get by fine without your assistant.
Yes.
And you will let us know. All right. I see we've got a couple approvals on there that you need. Item A.
Make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to be able to send the village clerk to the annual Nebraska Municipal Clerks Institute and Academy in Grand Island, Nebraska on March 14th through the 19th, 2021. I guess the only quick question I have on that is, do we have a backup to watch the phones or answer phones for you to be gone, Nikki?
We can probably get a temp person in here for that week if we need to.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the approval to send the village clerk to the annual Nebraska Municipal Clerks Institute and Academy in Grand Island, March 14th through the 19th, 2021. Any straws? If there's no further discussion, vote on that motion.
Jason Weasey,
Aye.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Mark Sundberg.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Item B, this is a new function of our billing that we're using. Is that correct, Nikki?
Yes.
The pay for receipts?
So this may take a while to get this figured out, and I'm still working with Allison on it, but right now we have to hand write out a receipt for any cash transaction or any, like if AYS pays their utilities or the fire department pays their utilities or any payment like that that comes in, we have to hand write a receipt and then make photocopies of, because we have to keep all of those. So with this point of sale system, it also has a cashiering function to it, so we can do cash and check sales. And it'll print out a receipt. So if we can find a way to number those receipts, then Allison said we can stop doing the handwritten part and just print out those paper receipts and because we can print 2 of those receipts at once, and then we have ours to keep and we have one for the customer. And we can do reports at the end of the day to balance and all of those good things. So as long as we can figure out how to number those receipts, then she said all we need is approval from you guys to be able to eliminate the handwritten receipt stuff.
So you just need a motion to go ahead and try that?
A motion to approve the usage of pay for receipts instead of handwritten receipts in compliance with our auditing guidelines.
Second that.
I think we have a motion and a second for the approval of using pay for receipts. There's no further discussion. Let's vote on that motion.
Travis Kramer,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Mark Sundberg.
Aye.
Jason Weasey,
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Anything else for Nikki? If not, item 8, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Let's vote on that motion.
McCorney,
Aye.
Mark Sundberg.
Aye.
Jason Weasey,
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Aye.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
We have an employee on our street who is in quarantine right now because he has someone in contact with you.